Right. But when you're really motivated, it's sometimes like you can be like your own worst enemy. Even when you're doing things that you really like. You're like, man, I want to do this, 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 and this. But then if you spread yourself too thin, sometimes you look back and you're like, wait, where am I getting with any of it? I'm just sort of doing it, but I'm just treading water everywhere.
Right, right, right. I think I'm not sure if it's common, but like something that I also experienced was growing up. I didn't have that many hobbies, but then when I got to college, I started doing way too many things, and at the end of it, I realized I didn't dedicate enough time to any of these. Like I was burnt out on everything because I there's only so much time in the day,
Hmm.
and if you try and fit 10,000 things into 24 hours, you aren't going to be able to actually do all of those things. Like part of honestly, part of loving a lot of different things is you have to let some things go so that you can actually dedicate the time necessary to things that you care about the most.
Yeah. Do you guys ever go to a restaurant that has like a menu that has way too many things on it? And you're almost like overwhelmed that you're going to make a bad choice. You're like, man, I want to get this, but this looks good. These look good. And you're like, I should order all four of them.
Yeah.
It almost works against you that there's too many choices versus like Tyler, that there's that small ramen place down the
Oh,
street.
Yume
Yeah.
Wolfgatari.
And it's like you can get ramen with pork or ramen with more pork. Those are your choices. So it's
Yep.
like, on the surface, it's like, oh, it's not much. But then you're like, well, it's easy to choose. Like, it's laid out for me. But when you have a lot of choices, you're right, Jordan. It's like being a kid in a candy store and you only have $10 to spend, and you're like, ah. And like in life, that $10 is like time. You only have a certain amount of time you can put towards it, and you eventually find the best way to spend your time or the most optimal way. But sometimes you have to go through those first pathways where you're like, I'm doing too much, but eventually I want to settle on something.